Survival horror games and I have an interesting relationship. I didn't grow up playing horror games at all, or watching horror movies for that matter. My parents had never bought any horror movies to watch in our house, and I was rarely exposed to them at any of my friends' houses either. It wasn't really until I started making gameplay videos as a part of Bracket Studio that I took an interest in the genre, as it was the genre of games I probably knew the least about. But a little over a year ago, on August 12th, this amazing little game demo called PT was released. The night it dropped on the PSN, I got a chance to play it with the rest of the guys. We ended up playing it for hours until we finally got the hidden Silent Hills trailer at the end. I'll talk about PT a little bit more in depth later on, but there were two main things that struck me when playing it. One, this game is really freaking everybody else out. And two, why isn't it scaring me like that? The lack of exposure when I was a kid might be the reason for why PT, and most horror games and movies, don't seem to really scare me. But for whatever reason, when I'm watching a horror movie or playing a horror game, I'm just very much aware that I'm watching a movie or playing a game. I guess I'm unintentionally detached from the experience to an extent, so the scares just don't hit home like they do with other people, I suppose. Now, I'm not trying to claim that I'm some badass who isn't afraid of anything or some shit. It's pretty far from it. I actually have a very bizarre and very irrational fear of burlap sack masks. Yeah, the kind of mask that Scarecrow from Batman wears, or that like a few killers from horror movies have worn. Those just scare the fuck out of me for some reason, and I honestly don't know why. I'm usually unfazed by the shit thrown at me on screen, but if you put a burlap sack mask on something, I get seriously freaked out. At any rate, besides this odd and specific fear of mine, the frights found in the movies and games that terrified other people just didn't work on me. After that night of playing PT though, I decided I should start searching for a horror game or movie that could scare me. Well, one that could scare me without needing fucking burlap sack masks and shit to do it. Now, I didn't know exactly where to begin my search though, so I asked a few of my friends who were pretty knowledgeable in the genre. Cliff, also known as Battle Athlete on Twitch, and Bracket Studios' very own Brandon Laniog. Laniagacy. The Brandon Laniagacy. Anyways, they pointed me in the right direction, both advising that I stick to survival horror games and avoid the more modern, action-oriented type of horror games. So naturally, the first game I decided to play was Resident Evil 4. Now, from what I read, a lot of people love this game, and a lot of people, well, they don't hate it, but they sort of see it as the starting point of the Resident Evil series' decline into stuff like QTEs and action combat. But I'd never played a Resident Evil game before, so I didn't really have any expectations on what defines a good Resident Evil game. I had watched a friend of mine play Resident Evil 4 for the GameCube way back, like in middle school at some point, and I remember seeing that burlap sack mask guy with the chainsaw, and that really freaked me out. Yeah, that fucker right there. Fuck that dude. So I was curious to see if the game would be scary to me apart from that one guy in particular. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Overall, the experience was pretty fucking frustrating. I fought to get used to the weird-ass controls the entire time and could never really seem to get the hang of it. I had a really hard time aiming with those controls in the game, and I think that definitely made it hard for me to enjoy playing through it. Apart from the awkward control scheme though, I still just didn't find the game scary at all. But then again, zombies, or like mind-controlled people that walk like zombies, they're just not my cup of tea for entertainment. So I moved on to the next game, looking to see if a different type of setting and enemy would work any better. Outlast. You seem like such a good idea. I mean, I enjoy you a lot when watching others play you. Like Dewey down there, getting scared shitless during one of our Let's Plays. But when it's just you and me, one-on-one, it's just boring as fuck. When I'm playing Outlast, the game, it just feels like a marathon to complete a laundry list of tasks and like turning on generators or pumps or sprinklers or something, all while running from completely non-threatening mental patients and having a green laser burned into my eyes from all the night vision segments. It's just not a fun time. I think if the enemies in the game were scary to me, it might be more thrilling, but seeing as I can't fight them off, I'm forced to basically just run and avoid a obstacle over and over again, so I can flip the next levers needed, or push the next buttons needed, or, whatever. I can't fight back at all, which could be exciting, except it's just not scary. So it ends up being annoying to have to run and play hide and seek with freaks that were like beat within an inch of their life with the ugly stick. At any rate, Outlast was a bust for me, unfortunately. After a game with a first-person perspective, though, I decided it would be a good time to play something a little bit more old school, a little bit more third person, a little bit more Silent Hill 2. But before I got around to playing Silent Hill 2, which, by the way, seems very, very highly regarded by survival horror fans, I played a game called Corpse Party with Braniogasi. We played the first couple chapters on the PC together. We even recorded a Let's Play of it, but unfortunately it got completely fucked by a glitchy video file, so that thing was completely scrapped. But after our Let's Play was a bust, I decided to buy it for my PS Vita and try to play through it again. I actually liked Corpse Party a lot. The music was badass, but more of a Luigi's Mansion type of way than an actually unsettling or scary way. The story was interesting, if a little wordy at times, and getting to explore the Heavenly Host Elementary School in a top-down perspective with pixel art was fun. This cool aspect of the game was also sort of its downside. The game wasn't really scary at all. With the sprites, hum-worthy music, and anime-style character art, it made for a more entertaining game, albeit pretty disturbing and graphic, rather than actually scary. It was a cool game, but still didn't deliver a scary experience for me. Shortly after that, I was finally able to play Silent Hill 2. Holy shit. What a great game. I'd be lying if I said the game didn't feel at least a little bit dated when playing it, but even with the controls feeling a little clunky, it was still miles better than Resident Evil 4, for me at least. The atmosphere was really well done, and the story is definitely what kept me hooked. I feel like there's so much to pick apart in the layers of this game. Maybe Brandon and I will have to make a video together about this game sometime, in the future. Despite my enjoyment of the game, however, it never managed to scare me or even really creep me out. Which, maybe that's sort of the angle for the game. If the game's goal was to give you some disturbing personal shit to think about, it definitely succeeded. But that's about it, as nothing in the game ever spooked me or got my heart racing. Still though, I can see now why it ranks so highly on like top 10 survival horror game lists out there. I didn't really know much about the Silent Hill franchise before playing this. My only exposure to it really was watching one of the movies, I think, like forever ago in middle school, or high school? And I don't remember much about the movie except Pyramid Head, which I think definitely, he's definitely an iconic character. And I didn't really remember much about the movie anyways, except for Pyramid Head. He's definitely like the iconic character from the series, and playing the game, like, I can definitely see why he creeps a lot of people out. He's got a pretty cool design. even if he's pretty fucked up. The funny thing is, I was seeing like on like message boards or YouTube comments, like a lot of girls seem to really like Pyramid Head. Like they're very attracted to him. But I don't know. That's a conversation for a different video. Another game I'd seen get a lot of praise from survival horror fans is Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly. And just like Silent Hill 2, it was a PS2 game, which I guess was the golden age of survival horror from everything I've read so far. But from what I could see, it looked like an interesting game with the unique gameplay mechanic of having to use a special camera, the camera obscura, to take pictures of the spirits that lurk about a haunted village and exorcise their souls. Ghosts in general aren't particularly scary to me, so I didn't really know what to expect before playing Fatal Frame 2. After all, if PT, like a photorealistic game with a ghost in it, didn't scare me at all, how could this old PS2 game do it? Oh. Like that. Yeah, that would definitely do it. God damn, this game creeped me the fuck out. It really unsettled me while playing it. I never had a moment where, like, I screamed out loud or jumped, but I definitely had a reaction that none of the other survival horror games had given me. My heart would start beating fast, my blood would run cold, and I'd get a chill down my spine. All that cliche shit. The hairs on the back of my neck would raise, and I would even think about turning the game off. The music and sound in this game is incredible. Apart from the title screen theme, that actually sounds like the start of a swashbuckling adventure to find lost treasure. Fatal Frame 2 has very unsettling music and sound effects. Whispering from ghosts, creaks and soft thumps. Really creepy stuff. Thankfully, this game didn't rely on loud jump scares and fast screaming things running headfirst at me. It had a lot of build-up and a lot of tension walking around the deserted village, and many times would do things like show a ghost walking through the hallway ahead of me or even right behind me. It was really effective, and it had me wanting to turn the lights on and turn off the game. I think it showed me deep down inside I really am a pussy. But after I finished the game, it made me wonder, PT had a lot of this. Ghosts, creaky hallways, great sound design, and a slow build-up without constantly relying on jump scares. And it had remarkably better graphics. Why didn't PT scare me like Fatal Frame did? Well, after careful thought and reflection, I narrowed it down to what is exactly, essentially, my best guess. You see, PT is sort of a classic haunted house situation. Things are placed in spots to be spooky, and you sort of walk through the place taking it all in. There's not too much interaction between you and the environment, apart from clicking in your analog stick to examine things and trigger events, of course. So you walk through the hallway, Lisa starts to creep on you, and even at one point goes boo. But really, you don't get to fight back at all, or run away even. You just plod along and sort of take it all in like you paid to go inside a haunted house. Which is fucking awesome. That's a great idea for a game. But it doesn't have a survival element. For me, in the several times I've played PT, I never feel like I'm in danger. Things will lurk or go bump in the night, and I can look at it or keep walking forward and just think, cool, whatever. While nothing really harms you at all. Apart from that one jump scare, which afterwards, it just lets you go right back to what you were doing. Now, I feel like I have to reiterate that I'm not disparaging PT at all. I'm just sort of talking through the reasons why I think it wasn't able to scare me. And to be fair, this was just a demo after all. Who knows what Silent Hills could have been with those two geniuses at the helm. The game most likely would have had these elements of survival and interaction that are missing from PT. But it looks like we really will never know what exactly the game could have been. At any rate, Fatal Frame 2 does have these elements, and I think this is the main reason why it made my skin crawl and left me so creeped out. I never felt like I was just wandering around along for the ride. I couldn't just walk my way through the things that would happen in the game. In fact, the way the game made me use the camera obscura to fight off ghosts is fucking genius. Unlike games like Silent Hill or Resident Evil, when something starts to attack you, you can't just unload a bunch of bullets into it or start swinging an axe or a bat like a madman until it crumples to the floor. No, you have to pull out your camera, point it at that fucking thing, and watch it as it slowly gets closer and closer to you. You can't mash the controller to take a bunch of pictures real quick to just kill it and move on. In fact, having a twitch finger can end up making it worse, as you can snap a picture too soon before it is vulnerable, and then you have to wait in agony as it makes its way closer to you, hoping your camera recharges enough to take another picture of that fucker before it grabs you. The game makes you look at the scary shit and forces you to wait as it comes closer. The closer it is to you and the more in danger you become, the more damage you'll do to it when you snap a picture of it. It's like a creepy, fucked up game of Pokemon Snap, and I love it. So, I think Fatal Frame's game mechanics of forcing you to carefully watch through a camera lens as ghosts try to attack you so that you can kill them with some perfectly timed shots is really what made this game scary for me. Along with, like, the incredible music and atmosphere, of course. Also, broken neck ladies. I don't like the image of creepy corpses hanging from nooses or floating down as ghosts to try and kill me. Not a fan. But I definitely have to give Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly high praise for being the first game to chill me to the bone without needing a burlap sack mask to do it. Speaking of high praise, I think we need to talk about PT again briefly. First off, I think this game certainly helped me finally understand Aaron's religious devotion to the almighty Kojima. Praise him. Praise him. Kojima Productions. When we first played PT that night that it released, I was blown away with how great the graphics were. Like, I sat down with a bowl of ramen noodles while I watched what I thought at first was a movie that Aaron had put on. It wasn't a movie. After watching a little bit longer and seeing the camera move around in janky ways that's really unusual for movies, I finally realized it was a game. Aaron was walking down a hallway that looked photorealistic. As he kept playing, more of the guys sat down by the TV to watch him play, and as more shit started happening to spook him, they passed the controller around, trying to find someone who would continue that fucked up journey through the same hallway. After I finished eating my ramen, I took the controller and started playing, since at that point everyone else was pretty much done with having to be at the wheel. After playing for a bit and reaching the first ending of sorts, we started looking up guides online to see if there was anything else. People were saying at that point that PT was a demo for Silent Hills, and you could trigger a cutscene through some complicated ass shit, and it showed off the new Silent Hills game. Rest in peace. So we started reading a wiki on how to get the cutscene to trigger, only to have the steps change completely on the webpage halfway through us doing it. And we just refreshed the screen, and it just scrapped everything. I was like, fuck it. Redo everything. There's a new plan. That won't work. Do this. So at that point, we just started following the new advice. People online were getting the ending through different ways, and nobody had found like a consistent way to get results yet at that point. At any rate, we tried pretty much everything that people were reporting worked for them, until finally, at 7 in the fucking morning, we got that last goddamn baby laugh and the phone call of destiny. Needless to say, it was a fun night spent trying to, beat PT, and it was hilarious to see everyone freaked out by the stuff in the game that scared them. It's really a damn shame we'll never see what Silent Hills could have been, as it looked like it had the potential to be an amazing game. This incredible looking game called Allison Road is currently in development by Lilith. I started seeing articles about it earlier in the year, about when Silent Hills was confirmed to be canceled actually, and a lot of people were saying it was like a sort of spiritual successor to PT. It looked pretty interesting, so I kept it on my radar throughout this survival horror journey of mine, and wouldn't you know it, Allison Road finally started a Kickstarter campaign. There's a great video of prototype gameplay here on YouTube, and it shows off some of the game and what sort of visuals to expect. It definitely has a PT vibe to it, but also looks like it will have a lot of great original ideas as well, with a pretty awesome looking environment to walk around and explore. As of this recording, the Kickstarter campaign is a little over halfway to their goal, but only has 10 days left to reach it. I thought for sure this Kickstarter would have reached its goal in like a week or so, as it seemed that a lot of people were fans of survival horror games and would most likely have heard about this. But surprisingly, I don't see any of the major YouTubers out there that seem to have horror game scare reaction videos as their bread and butter making any videos about this game or spreading the word. Maybe they just don't know? Right now, we are a pretty small channel, but the subscribers we do have are fucking amazing. So hopefully you guys that are watching this can take a look at the Kickstarter page for Allison Road. I'll put a link in the description, of course. And hopefully pledge a few bucks towards the game to help them reach their goal. And if you don't have any 6 bits to spare, you can always just spread the word to your friends on the social media faceplace and and whatnot. Anything helps. And if you're watching this after the Kickstarter's ended, then hopefully it was a success, and there's nothing to worry about after all. At any rate, I guess it's time to give some final thoughts on my experiences with survival horror games so far. I guess I'd always avoided survival horror games because I thought there really wasn't much in them for me to enjoy. I don't find most of the subject material scary, and I'm not a fan of gore or over-the-top violence, so I always figured there would be no reason for me to play them. But what struck me for a lot of the games that I played was that even if they didn't end up creeping me out, they still had really interesting characters and a great story to enjoy. Not everything I played in my quest to find a scary game was amazing, but I was still genuinely surprised by how much I enjoyed playing through the story and soaking in these unique settings and atmospheres of the games. I'm also eagerly looking forward to playing 2 upcoming horror games that are releasing later this month: Corpse Party Blood Drive for the PS Vita and Fatal Frame 5, Maiden of Blackwater for the Wii U. Corpse Party Blood Drive looks like it's going to have a lot of the things I loved about the first game in it, while also having a really great looking graphical upgrade. The character models more closely match the anime art style of the game, and it looks like you get to have a flashlight this time around, making things even spookier. And, well, for Fatal Frame 5, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't as nervous as I am excited. A Fatal Frame game with more realistic graphics? I don't think I'm ready for that shit. I was on edge from playing a Fatal Frame game with just PS2 graphics. If this newest entry in the series keeps up the same quality but with a more immersive and realistic world, I might not be able to hang. I really wanted to be able to talk about both of these games in this video, but I also really wanted to get this out before Halloween, and I knew that would be pretty tough if I waited until after both of these games came out later in the month. But hey, if you guys enjoyed this and want to see me do a review or a let's play or something of either of those 2 games, give me a shout in the comments. This type of video is a little bit different from what we usually have on our channel here at Bracket Studio, since we usually have fairly short let's play videos of competitive games that we all play together. But if you want to see more retrospective review-y type videos like this though, let us know. They of course take a bit more time to put together than the let's plays we do, but we're always looking to branch out and see what people like. And if you're new here, feel free to check out some of our other videos. We have a pretty funny video of Dewey playing Outlast, and a video where I play through PT while trying to get Lisa to kill me the whole time, while Brandon just goes on about cockroach theories, and Aaron was there to make sure Dewey watched every moment of it. But if you don't have time to watch that shit right now, just fondle up our subscribe button to stay up to date on our videos. It feels really good, and it helps us out quite a bit. We post new videos every Saturday and release new episodes of our podcast about every 2 weeks as well. This is Travis from Bracket Studio, and I hope you all have a happy Halloween. God, that was terrible.